Today's theme is that God is in all places. Now this is part 2 from Psalm chapter 139, verses 9 and 10. Verse 9, "If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me." Verse 8, just before this, in part 1, talks about if we would ascend up to heaven or go down to the depths of the earth. But now in verse number 9, we're talking about going different directions, left or right, or east and west. In verse number 9, it says, "If I take the wings of the morning." Now, that little phrase is interesting. Understand that the whole book of Psalms is poetry. And so you have to look at that as symbolism. So the wings of the morning, what would that be like? I don't see any wings of the morning. Where would that be? Now, if you envision the sun as it rises in the east, what do you see? You see those sunrise coming up over the horizon. Those are the wings of the morning. So from the east all the way, as the sun rises, and those rays come up over the land, and as we look at those, we know that God is there. Now, I love to see the sunrise, and I love to see the sunset. In my home in the state of Wisconsin, in Door County, it's located on a peninsula on the east of the state. And that's a wonderful place. If you stand on the east side there in the morning, you can watch Lake Michigan and all the water there as the sun rises on the east and those rays fill the land. And then as it sets on the west, if you're on that peninsula, there's still the water from Green Bay. And you could see the sun set over the water. That's very inspirational. Now, I've never been there myself, but I've heard a lot of people talk about that. When I was a young boy in high school, a friend of mine who was a senior and I was a junior, we decided to try to stay up all night without any sleep. So we'd drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and we pretty much made it through the night with movies and games and talking. We did all those things. And as it began to get light in the morning, we were so tired, I thought, I've got to get home. So 5 or 6 a.m., I was driving home, and I thought, wow, what is that I'm seeing? And that sunrise was coming up, and the rays just really gave me more energy. So it's like as the ray comes from the sun in the early morning, it's like those rays lead us right to God. Well, we know that God is there. Now, do you recall before it says about the uttermost parts of the sea? Now, we'd already talked about the depths of the sea. There's one area near Japan where the sea floor is deeper than the highest mountain of the world, Mount Everest. So that sea is deeper than Mount Everest is high. Well, you know, in the Jewish country, in Israel, from their viewpoint, when they looked east and they looked west, in the west was the Mediterranean Sea. And way out there across that water, as the sun set, it looked like, yes, God is still there. Everywhere God is, whether it's in the sky, down the depths of the earth, east or west, God is there. No matter where you look, God's hands will lead me. Now the last part says, your right hand will hold me. Now culturally, the right hand shows strength, and the left hand shows not as much appreciation. Now I'm a lefty, and so I have experienced a lot of frustrations about that. When I play baseball, you know, people go right to first base, but it's not fair. Why can't I go the other way? Well, the perspective is that the right hand of God has power, and He will hold me. That's a comforting thought. No matter where I go, whether it's a safe place or a dangerous place, God is with me, and He will hold you. So come back tomorrow for more.